welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Sonali Sokhal. She is the founder and CEO of Intelliquo, India's leading public relations firm. And she is also the co-founder of PRPOI, that is the Public Relations Professionals of India. Welcome to the show, Sonali.
Thank you so much for having me, Ajay. I'm really looking forward to our discussion today.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we will be talking about, how PR has evolved post-COVID to become a more holistic marketing tool. We'll come to that. Firstly, Sonali, wanted to understand from you is that you have been a good student when you were in college. You also got a scholarship in your second year, and then you went towards, you did your master's in English honors from Delhi University, and then you went on into the public relations firm side. And today, as the owner, as the founder of a company, uh, I want to understand it from both points. What is it that made you decide to go into PR? And what is it that when newcomers come to you, they are giving the reason why they want to come into PR? I just want to understand the mind shift into why people are getting into PR then and today.
That's a lovely question, Ajay. I'm going to answer the first one. So, I think, like a lot of my contemporaries, I stumbled into my career. I started off as a freelance writer. I used to write for New Woman. I used to write for Hello Magazine. And then in the course of my time, I met a lot of PR people and I started loving what they do. And the reason I started loving what they do was I felt I'm the one who's only writing the story. But these are the people who are creating the stories. They have all the information. So if I want to go deeper into these subjects, I should be on the other side and I should also be working with brands and clients in creating their stories. And that's how I got my first break in PR. And I worked with a couple of agencies and then I started in Teleco in 2012 and there was no looking back after.
Right, right.
So
And
that's answering the first part of your question. Now in the second part, I think today's youth is very smart. They are much more evolved. They've been exposed to a lot of things. And I think a lot of people are realizing that communication as a career is very versatile. They have multiple options. PR is only one of those options, or working with an agency is only one of those options. I think for them today, they are very keen to map out careers and they are very ambitious and they understand that the learning experience they can get through for communication in an agency is going to be way higher than anywhere else. So I think that is one of the compelling reasons that they joined a PR agency.
right, right. Now let's look at both the scenarios. When you made that choice, it was because the world was totally different. 90s were a different world and career choices were limited. Today, the whole world is so connected with the creator economy being there, with the internet anywhere you can find a lot of jobs here. So from a situation of not having many choices to a situation when the youngsters have many choices, why is it that they would want to go for a PR job amidst these challenges of when everything is undergoing such a massive shift, and especially with the coming of the AI into the scene? Give us some compelling reasons so that a lot of youngsters will be watching right now, later on audio, as well as reading it on the blogs on Medium and Substack. So give us some compelling reasons so that they find it good enough that it is a stable line where I can make something good about myself. I want to understand it from that point of view. That will also help us understand, how public relations has become a much more stronger and holistic marketing tool that people would want to be associated with.
So Ajay, I think you answered some part of that question in your question. So to give you an example, you said that AI has come in. See, the thing is, PR is a job which requires so much human empathy, so much intuition, and so much thinking out of the box. And it's such a creative field that I think the first thing is AI can never take your job. So, for a lot of anxious young people out there, I would say this is one job that AI cannot take away from you. So, that's the first compelling reason. And I think the second compelling reason is the number of skill sets you get as a PR professional are going to equip you for so many jobs going forward. So, for example, you are a storyteller, you are a writer, you are a psychologist because you have to read your clients, you have to read your journalists, you have to read your media, you are an event organizer, you have to be very proficient in Excel, so your organizational skills have to be very good. You have to create media budgets, so your ability in finance should be fairly decent, and your leadership skills have to be there because you're eventually going to be leading a team. I don't know too many jobs that make you doff so many hats. And the other benefit is that you get to learn so much about different subjects because in PR, we are sector agnostic, right? So today I could be doing PR for a medical company, and tomorrow I could be doing PR for a restaurant, and the third day I could be doing PR for a lipstick brand, which means that I have to deep dive and have at least fairly adequate knowledge of the products that I am pitching to media or the stories that I am telling media. And that will again give you a chance to maybe go further, maybe only into the hospitality sector or only into the technical fields. How many careers give you such a great platform? I don't think too many do. A lot of them just put you on a treadmill track and you're moving along that track most of the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now let's come to the the focus that we are having. How PR has become a more holistic marketing tool post COVID. How do you think, if a marketing person hears this, and that PR is the marketing tool, and marketing, so where does marketing stand if PR is taking place much more strongly in the post COVID world? How do we look at it? Earlier companies used to say, listen, or and many a times, I know this sector very closely, so people used to say that you people have not done, PR has not done any good job, you see. Even marketing used to complain. Whereas everybody knows that marketing had a job to do, they have not done the job, they have got big budgets, but they are expecting their job as well as every other job from a PR team with a very small amount of money that they are paying monthly or maybe as a project. But be that as it may, let's look at today's world as a marketing tool. If it has become stronger, where does the original marketing team stand within which PR also comes?
So I think see marketing, we have created these silos, we say marketing, we say advertising, we say PR, we say influencer marketing, we say digital marketing. I find it very amusing because a lot of clients come to me and say, do you do digital PR? And I'm like, but what do you mean? Everything is digital. So,
Right.
what I'm just trying to say is that look, marketing has a very relevant job which I don't think PR can take up. Marketing does so much more than only communication. Marketing understands the product, right? It's the storytelling of a product from inception of that product to its packaging, to how it will be retailed, the pricing structure, what is the consumer response. There's so much more to marketing than just making social media posts or getting press releases out. And I think the kind of data analytics that marketing does is left to them. And I don't think PR should even try to get into that situation. But what PR does offer is a much more holistic, and I'm coming to that, effort, because today there are two, three ways that brands need PR. The first is credibility. You can advertise full page in a Times of India or in an HT, but that will not buy you credibility. Credibility comes when other people speak well of you, and that only PR can achieve, because we are not telling you to go to a newspaper and say that I am great. We are getting other people to say that you are great, right? That's the first function of PR. And I think the second thing is that today PR is also becoming about storytelling. And we saw this pivot happen in COVID. I was surprised. I actually thought, Ajay, when COVID happened, I thought, bas ho gaya hai, I'm going to have a sabbatical for a year. There's going to be no work. I told my team also that, it's going to be chill now for a year. Just do something else, find a hobby, find something else you want to do, because I don't think we're going to have any work. You will be shocked to know that after the first week, we started getting new client queries. We were in the middle of a pandemic, sitting, making proposals, pitching, and doing stories because suddenly there was nothing else happening. And that's the day I remembered Mr. Bill Gates, who said, if I had my last dollar, I would spend it on PR. And literally, companies were pulling out all the stops. I mean, from Instagram lives to press releases to getting a whole community and influencer management. Suddenly, we were in business, and how? And that's when everybody realized the importance of PR.
So what was their demand like? How did it change from before COVID and after, immediately after COVID? What was it that
Yeah.
they started
So I
demanding?
think before COVID, there was a lot of emphasis, I would think, on press release driven PR. Every brand used to think कि नया launch हुआ है, let's put out a press release and that's it. Media will write about it and my ROI will come from it. Suddenly, post COVID, people began to realize that the consumer consumption of media had evolved and changed. What we are seeing now has been, I would call it like a curve, like a V-shaped curve, basically. So at one point, you suddenly felt, oh my God, media has declined. Nobody is reading newspapers anymore. It's all about digital, Instagram, TikTok, Reels. We don't have TikTok, it's banned, but Reels is our answer. So everybody wants to do Reels the whole time. Everybody wants to do influencers. So you see this curve, right? Now we are coming to the evolution of niche media. Brands are realizing that only influencers is also not working, because this influencer A is today talking about you, tomorrow they're talking about your competitor, the third day they're talking about something else,
Right.
and it's all becoming white noise. So how do you create relevance as a brand? How do you create disruption, right? So today we are seeing, I mean, it's such a good sign to see something like The Established, which has got funding. It's a niche publication, right? We've seen a lot of food magazines come up, which are e-zine or Substack based. We are seeing editors like a Nandini Bhalla, who's recently quit Cosmopolitan and starting her own niche media publication. And they're bringing that pedigree to the niche media publications. I think it's going to be a very interesting next few years, because we are going to see a new evolution happen. We are going to see many aspects of PR today. Traditional media is going to be the king always. Nobody can beat a story in economic times. I can tell you that. It's going to be a mix of traditional media. It's going to be a mix of podcasts like yours, which are rising and rising. We all know podcasts are doing so well today. And they're so immersive, right? Brands are actually getting, like, it's literally from the horse's mouth when it comes to a podcast for a brand. We are going to see very relevant influencer campaigns. And we are going to see a lot of new media, and we are going to see creative storytelling or immersive events, which are not just going to be only for influencers but open to consumers as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think this is going to be a very nice mix, because this is actually the way PR should be.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have put that very well, and I'm very happy to see quoting Substack, quoting niche publications, quoting the way forward, and it is thoughts like this which one wants to see, uh, not just uh, among industry owners. You are one of the few agency owners who I think that have talked in this holistic manner about understanding the real trend. Several of them, I think, are more focused on the ROI and whatever they are putting the money a little bit on, less on training, and less at looking towards the future. Maybe this post-COVID world will be different, and they will be actually looking at all these things much more uh, focus level. Otherwise, the world is changing very fast. As you talked about the traditional media just a couple of days back, read this new report which has come out and see. So this is one report. Maybe this will be there, and you can also search it. It is the maybe on the international level, but India is a part of the global economy, and this is and maybe I have read the comments about on this by people, very intellectual people of the content industry, saying that maybe not 2030, but they have not said no, it will not happen. They've said maybe not 2030, but maybe a few years more. So this is what the world is moving towards, and it is nice to see. In India, it might be different. Yes, organizations are very much strongly. We are a traditional people, and we look at newspapers differently. But this is the way the world is changing. Whatever that is, because but as I said, it is nice to see. Yeah, carry on.
I disagree a little bit. And I disagree because I feel that India is one of the very few countries where print media is still growing. I don't have the data on me right now, but I do believe that print media has grown. I myself have seen the launch of two new magazines recently. Air India has come up with this in flight magazine again. India Today has come back with its travel magazine, India Today Travel Plus. I am seeing the evolution of new media and podcasts that happening every quarter. So I think to just rely on creator economy is also not going to be, helpful. If I were a brand and I only relied on creator economy, I think that would also be very perilous because the years of finesse and that journalism brings is not something that can be replaced by a creator. Some creators are very good, but not all of them are. And while some creators will definitely make a lot of money and they will replace certain traditional media aspects, to expect that to filter down and only go to all the other creators is expecting a bit much.
Right, right. So now I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
This is one part of the report, and as I said, it might be more applicable towards the outside world. In India, we are a totally different way of looking things, different way the media will evolve, and I'm sure the more we will only come to know later on as the full spectrum of this whole media pans out.
Yes.
So
Yes.
be that as it may, in terms of today, how would you call is a PR agency then? Is it about how many things can you include into a PR agency? What is it that clients are asking for today, which earlier were not part of? Before COVID, they would ask, "Okay, digital karte ho kya?" But
Yes.
now, what do they ask? What are the how the terminology has changed? What is the marketing stuff that is being asked from a PR agency that they want maybe to be delivered?
Yeah, I tell you, I think beyond everything, every client always wants earth, moon, and stars. They want to be in traditional media also. They want to be in podcasts also. They want influencers also. Everybody wants everything. But beyond that, I would say the one common factor that I am seeing is they are all looking for creative storytelling. And ultimately, we cannot forget we are in the business of ideas. So I think an agency which can turn back and give clients good ideas, creative ideas to create disruption for their brands will always win. And after working in PR, I can tell you that this works irrespective for a lifestyle brand or for a B2B brand also. Even a B2B brand, you can really market it well if you have a creative storytelling process for them. So I think PR agencies are going to have to become very smart and they have to evolve because today the battle is no longer about ye coverage lao or ye lao. It is about what is the content you're going to put out there. And as I grow older, I find myself increasingly telling young brands, ये सब तो ठीक है but ये content क्या दे रहे हो आप मीडिया को, I am not even interested in today talking to a brand if I feel that their content story is not strong.
Right, right. So what is content? Because AI is writing content.
So
Some
that's
of
not
it
the
will come
content I am
from
talking about.
right.
That
So
that's a very basic form. When I look at content, I am saying What is your story? If you were a person and I were to sit and have a cup of coffee with you, if this brand was a human being, what was the story this brand would tell me? Right? Is it story that it has created an impact for lakhs of people? Is it a story that it has created a new disruptive product? Is it a story that it is bucking a trend? That is content for me. It is not what AI writes. वो तो बहुत basic है, right? When we talk about content, we are talking about, look at a Domino's. I'll give you a very simple example. What is Domino's content? Domino's content is not that we sell good pizza. Domino's content is we sell value for money pizza. इतना सा पैसे में इतना सारा पिज्जा मिलेगा. And they've been very true to that content. Every press release they take out, everything they do is around that content. So for me, that is a brand that has an understanding of its content and they are very true to their content. So first, as a brand, what is the story you want to tell out there? That's the most important thing.
Right, right. So in terms of storytelling, when suppose you have got a client pitch, new client pitch, but somebody is wanting to change agencies, and the
Yes.
agency there also, the agency is a good one, big one, and they have a name in the market, but they want to change you. uh, what is it that they would want to change? Because their delivery, they have also the same connect almost in the traditional media. What is it that in a general sense will they look for from another agency? What would be, just like in a marketing mix, what would be the PR mix that would tell the story, the brand story, in a better manner in a company like yours? How are you making that storytelling mix, or so that, or the PR mix that you can present to the client, that will be totally new, totally different, almost mind blowing, that the client will be entitled to, ready to take it and ready to pay for it?
We always give our clients disruptive ideas. We encourage them to think out of the box. And we keep telling them that, just by doing, what you've been doing till yet has got you where you are. But now, if you want to go to the next level, you're going to have to do something to surprise or delight your consumers. And that's where we come in. Because we always work with brands to help them create that storyline. Are you a really big company? Do you have your own podcast? Have you considered your own podcast? Have you realized that you should become the authoritative voice in your category? And what are you doing about it? And many times they have not thought about these things.
Right, right.
Most
So,
brands have not thought about taking ownership of their categories. Most brands have not thought about creating delightful experiences for consumers and media. And that's where we come in. Because if you can own a category, if you can create those delightful experiences, you're already creating disruption.
right. So, is the relationship between the PR agency and the client that has undergone some shift before COVID and after COVID? Earlier, I I had a sense that a lot of companies used to think, okay, ये PR agency नहीं तो कोई दूसरी, and somehow we will get things done for us. But has that changed? Are they looking at PR agencies more as partners and not as a mere vendor? Has this changed? Because when there will be solid exchange of ideas, you cannot treat a PR agency as a vendor. Partner and exchange of great ideas can be only done between partners. Are they giving that respect? Are they ready to give that respect so that you can actually share your best ideas to a partner brand?
I think the smart ones are.
Right,
Because you
right,
can keep changing your agency, but then if you're still going to be, running around in the same circle, you're not going to achieve anything. I know so many clients, and we've also left them, unfortunately, is they don't want to treat you like partners. They'll turn around and say, ये है हमारा press release है, हमारे को कितना coverage आएगा, हमारे को कैसे. The evolution is not happening. And that's very sad because beyond a point, they get frustrated after 3 months and then they go to the next agency and then they have the First month, everybody really puts in effort in the agency. They somehow firefight and get some coverage, and then by the second month, they are all back to square one. And by the third month, they're ready to say goodbye to them. But they don't look inwards and say that, okay, maybe we are doing something wrong. And I think for that, maybe because we are a boutique agency and I don't have the kind of overheads a large agency will have, I'm like very candidly, I can afford to pick and choose people I want to work with. I can afford to pick and choose brands with vision. And we've been touched wood very lucky that all our clients have believed in us and sometimes taken a leap of faith with us.
Right, right. So, in terms of this mismatch of expectations, you may want to call it, this lack of understanding of where the gap is, it is not about the effort, but maybe where is it? Is it from the corporate communication side generally? Is it from the client servicing side from the PR agency? Is it from the over expectations of the CEO or whoever the person is spokesperson, and there is a mismatch? The corporate communication person is not able to tell them that, listen, your expectations are you don't have that profile. It will take some time for that profile to come up. You need to first work below on the ground and then think about getting somewhere on the top in terms of your authority, market authority, brand, in terms of your profiling opportunity. I want to understand so that there is, more cohesiveness, much more partner-like approach between the agencies as well as the brands.
No, Ajay,
Do
I
you?
think it's a mix of both. Okay, I think unfortunately many times a lot of copcoms or a lot of companies, they are so low on bandwidth that they don't have time to sit across the table and actually talk to their peer agencies.
Okay.
Right. So that's
Well,
one part of it. The second part is a lot of PR agencies allow servicing to happen from the youngest person in the company, you know, or they'll allow a rookie to go and meet the client, and the rookie is a reactive. They will not turn around and say, like, obviously when I turn around and tell a client, okay, this will not work, I will go and meet a founder and I will tell him or her that, look, I think we really need to do things differently and you have to give a little credence to my experience and age in this field. I can get away with saying that because they will respect my opinion because they know I bring that body of experience with me and I obviously know what I'm talking about. So I think the mistake that a lot of agencies do is that when it comes to client servicing or when it comes to these kind of strategic discussions, corporate communication will never accept it from a junior person. And neither will the junior person be able to put across their point in the best way. These are things that we have to understand that senior teams have to take custodianship in agencies, have to take this custodianship. They have to go back and sit across the table and talk to their clients, right, and tell them the lay of the land, because that is what their experience brings to the table. And I think clients also, unfortunately, what happens many times is they get burnt. And this is something we hear so much, that the last PR agency, they never came with ideas, they never used to talk to us, they never delivered, we were always chasing them. So when that kind of trust factor gets eroded from a client side, then it takes them a lot of time to build it up again or want to invest in another agency again. So unfortunate but true, but I think the gaps are on both sides.
okay, okay. So now looking forward, the future of the whole PR industry, how does it look like? You are a boutique PR agency. You said we have limitations, but we also have great delivery capacities. Do you think there will be, just like in entrepreneurship, a lot of individuals are moving towards entrepreneurship? There are a lot of new things which has given that opportunity to them. Technology is aiding them. In terms of PR, do you think there is there will be scope only for bigger agencies, only for boutique agencies, or it will be again more of micro agencies or one man, two man agencies in the future? How does the future look for you? Because a lot of clients want to pay just small amount of money, so big agencies will not take them, and only individuals who have not much of an overhead, they will be able to take. How does this market look to be going towards in the next, say, 3 4 years?
I think it's going to be a mix of everything. You can't expect, because see, there are certain things that only a big agency does really well, and we cannot take that away from them. And if it's a really small company, they might even benefit from an individual, right? Why not? And similarly, a boutique agency like us, we bring our own strengths for a mid-sized brand. So I don't think there is any one cookie cutter approach, because every client is different and their requirements are different. So if you ask me, I think a smart client will identify whether a big agency suits them or a boutique agency suits them, or an individual suits them. And obviously budgets matter, realistically. So I think there will always be space for everyone. And I have till date, touchwood, not seen a single PR agency say कि हमारे पास काम नहीं है.
Okay, okay,
From
that's good.
small to big, right? So I think everybody, there's a space for everybody. It's a growing field, it's growing phenomenally, and people are waking up to the possibilities of PR. I think today PR Touchwood has its space under the sun, and I think the next few years it will evolve. It will get even more sophisticated, and different clients will choose different options and mediums according to budgets and requirements.
Right, right. And because most of these PR agencies will develop new capabilities because of, the power of ideas. Because earlier on, like it was happening in ad agencies, that, small ad agencies but with great ideas, they were able to build upon that, and grow from that point in onwards. And now agencies are less of just working on the ground about nitty gritties, but more about ideas. So the power of ideas, I guess, will take this whole, just like it is taking the world together forward, it will take even this industry forward. Be that as it
Absolutely.
may, yeah, be that as it may, Sonali, tell us about your company. If people want to connect with you, how can they do so? Know more about you, and if they want to professionally engage with Intelliquo, India's leading public relations firm that you are the founder of.
So we are very accessible. We have our LinkedIn page, Intellico. We also have an Instagram page by the same name, and I have a personal page on LinkedIn as well. I'm very active over there. So I think a ping, and this has happened with me earlier also. We Anybody who wants to reach out to us, we usually get a direct message either on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and this is just the best way to connect with us, either on the Intelico page or on my personal page. Both work.
Right, right. You are also the co-founder of Public Relations Professionals of India. Tell our audience about that and how they can be part of this.
So, it's interesting. My co-founders, Tarunjit and Pooja, we all were very frustrated at the time of the lockdown. And this was before we realized that work is going to become so hectic. So we thought, what should we do? And there was a common frustration. It's always been there among us people, that how do we upskill our teams? Because PR is not something where you give them a book and say, read this book, and now you're going to become good at PR, right? The only way to do it is actually to invite other people from different practice areas and get them to talk about the nitty gritty of that. So initially, when we started with PRPOI sessions, which we used to do once a week or once in 10 days or 15 days, we started identifying leading practitioners in different fields like lifestyle PR or healthcare PR or technology PR or content writing, and we got them to do little sessions or master classes for our digital audiences. And that demand grew so much, it evolved so much. People used to write into us and say, okay, how can I be part of this? Or why don't you do a session on press release writing, or basics of PR? And now today, Touchwood, it's become a 10,000 strong community across Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We also won an award for content last to last year. And we do hope that our sessions, because they're so dynamic, and we keep picking up the latest trends in the industry, and we invite people from that. that they give people an opportunity to learn a lot, and we keep it very focused on learning. We are very clear that we do not want to talk about us client ne ye bola ya ye media wala, or all that. We don't allow it to devolve. We keep the focus on learning. We do a lot of how to hacks, and I think that has made it very popular for everyone.
Wonderful, wonderful. Learning is what is very important. Even we are trying to help people learn better
Yes,
and earn better from the KJ Masterclass Live. With this,
thank
it's a
you
wrap
so
on
much.
this. Thank you. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.